Time is a charm, right? So what's good, BookTube? I'm here once again for you, my lovely viewers, in my room, just chilling with some books I got from the library that I'm going to show you, because that seems to be a popular thing to do. I know I did a book library haul last Sunday, but I managed to read 4 of the books by the time I went and checked out these books. And today I finished Reality Boy, so I will be filming my review of Reality Boy. The other 4 things I've read have already gotten reviews filmed. I just have to get them out to you. I know, like, last week there was, like, sort of a video explosion, so I was kind of, like, gonna chill and let you guys watch those at your leisure over, however long, this week. And so, next week we'll be pumping out some videos pretty much daily, probably, because I'd have a lot to talk about. So, let's get on to the book haul. In order to make this sort of, organized, we're going to start with young adult, because that's what's at the top of these piles after I finish the last review. Then we're going to go to graphic novels, because that's going to be a thing, and then I have some adult books that I'm going to share, and then the video will be over. So let's get into this, so we can get through this as quickly as possible. So we have The Diviners by Libba Bray, takes place in the 1920s, and I believe there's some witchcraft going on. I'm not sure, could be lying to you. If I am, I'm sorry, but that's literally all I know about this book, all I want to know. The next book I have to show you is The Other Normals by Ned Vizzini. As you saw in last week's Top 10 Tuesday, and my review of Openly Straight by Bill Coningsberg, I love me some Ned Vizzini. This has been on my TBR for ages, like on GOODREADS, you put on your TBR shelf, like this has been there for, ever since I read It's Kind of a Funny Story. So, and this book is not letting me down. Really good, go get it, right now, what are you waiting for? The next book I have to show you is by Rick Yancey, The Fifth Wave. People know about this book, you probably read this book, you know something about this book. All I know is aliens, all I want to know, good enough for me. The next book, also by Rick Yancey, gotta go over here, is The Monstermologist. I saw this on the Readables channel ages ago. I know she read it for her October theme one year, and I've been aching to read it ever since, and so I'm really happy that I finally am picking it up, because it sounded really cool and really kind of creepy, but in a creepy that I could handle. The next book I have to show you also goes to Priscilla, which is why I'm going to show you it now, because she is the only reason I'm picking this up, and it is Gone by Michael Grant. And I know she read this series, and she's talked about this series a few times. I think she did a review of the last book in this series, but all I know is that in this world, one day, people wake up and all the adults are gone, except for the young. So teenagers, middle school students, toddlers, not a single adult. So excited to see how that works. The next book is Crap Kingdom by D.C. Pearson. I saw this on Barnes & Noble a couple months ago, and I thought I was going to pick it up and buy it, but I didn't, and I'm really excited to read it. So it takes place, I don't know where it takes place actually, but it takes place somewhere, and there's this kid, Tom. I guess this is supposed to be Tom. Hi, Tom. Tom's on the toilet, but Tom has read, fantasy adventure books his entire life, and he's always wanted to go on an adventure, and then one day he goes through a portal to this kingdom, but the kingdom is pretty crappy, but in that kingdom he's the chosen one, but he doesn't want to be the chosen one, and so hilarity, I guess, ensues. I'm going to have to read and find out for myself. Hopefully hilarity does ensue, though. The next book on the TBR is Cassandra Clare's The Clockwork Angel. There is actually no "the" in the title. I just added that, because I can do that. I can add titles, But, this is the first book in the Infernal Devices trilogy. I've heard really good things about this one. I have read The Mortal Instruments, the first 5. City of Heavenly Fire is it's really long, and I just don't know if I'm going to read it, because it's long, and the other 2 after City of Glass just felt like fan service, and so I feel like City of Heavenly Fire is going to feel like fan service, and I just don't care about it anymore. But this is supposed to be really good, so I have high hopes. The last 2 young adult books I have to show you here are 1, The Raven Boys, and 2, The Dream Thieves, both by Maggie Stiefvater. I've never read anything by Maggie Stiefvater before, but I know that people have some strong opinions on these, and so I want to get in on that. I want to know what these people they're talking about. So this is the graphic novel section of the book haul, and the first, they're both graphic novels. They're both in like the same vein, so we're just gonna go with it. The first one I'm gonna show you are Fables. I picked up the first 4 volumes. So I have Legends in Exile. Then I have Animal Farm, Storybook Love, which has a cool cover, I think. Excuse me. And March of the Wooden Soldiers. I think March of the Wooden Soldiers. One of my favorite YouTube personalities, Grace Roundolph, who has had several channels in her career on YouTube, is a comic book writer. Not only that, but she also does movie reviews. And so she talks about comics and movies and the movie industry as a whole. She has some really great channels. I love her. And so she has recommended several times that people read Fables, and how she likes Fables, and how she doesn't watch Once Upon a Time because it is similar to Fables. And so I'm just going to read these because I liked Once Upon a Time. And so I was like, let me read them. And they have really pretty art, and it's not glossy pages, so that makes me happy. The next 2 graphic novels are both Wonder Woman titles. So I have the New 52 Wonder Woman Volume 1 Blood, which, if you don't know, the New 52 was DC's way. Oh, I didn't even tell you, but these Fables are printed by Vertigo. If you're looking for them in like a bookstore or something, they're a Vertigo title. And obviously Wonder Woman is a DC title, and DC owns Vertigo, but we don't need to go into that. Several years ago, DC decided to reboot some of their titles, 52 titles, and that's where the New 52 comes from. And so these are all like the official, like, this is what is this character. So all those stories of Wonder Woman from like 1980 or whatever, you can still buy them and things, but they're just not in the official canon, I guess. So this is the New 52, Volume 1 Blood, and it's Wonder Woman, and it's kind of weird, and I don't know what's going on. I think in this version they're trying to play up the more mythological aspects of Wonder Woman, so we're just going to see what that's like. Well, I am, and then I'll tell you about it. And the other Wonder Woman title I picked up isn't a New 52 title, but it's Wonder Woman Rise of the Olympian, and I don't know what this is about, but it was Wonder Woman, and I was just aching for some Wonder Woman, so I picked it up. So that concludes my graphic novel portion, and we're going to go on to the adult portion. We're going to start off with the memoir that I picked up, which is Hillary Clinton's Hard Choices. I believe this came out just earlier this year. It's very, very recent, so I'm really excited. I've been wanting to read this since it came out, because I love me some Hillary Clinton. This is her first book that I've read. She's written several books. She's written 4 other, I think, but this is the only one that I've started to read, and it's really good so far, and there will definitely be I don't know if I'll do like a review of this, but I'll talk about, anything I learned or what I found enjoyable and that sort of thing. 'Cause I don't think you can like really review a memoir, because that just sounds very critical, you know what, I don't know if I'm not articulating this very well, but I feel like it would be very rude to just critique a memoir. Anyway, moving on, I also picked up The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. This was like a huge, big thing back in like previous years, and a friend of mine read it, and there was 2 movies. There was a Swedish version and an English version, and so I figured it was time for me to see what that hype was all about. The next book I picked up was The Marriage Plot, a novel by Jeffrey Eugenides. I only picked this up because when I bought some books at Barnes & Noble, they have this thing on the receipt where it's like the normal receipt and tells you, what normal receipts tell you, and on the back is like the return information. But at the bottom, they have like this thing where you can just like rip off, and based on what you bought that day, it tells you books you might also like. And The Marriage Plot, a novel by Jeffrey Eugenides, has been on there several times, and some of his other works have been on there, like Middlesex and The Virgin Suicides, but they didn't have that when I went to the library, so I picked up The Marriage Plot. I'm going to see if I like it or not. I don't know too much about it. I just know it's the early 1980s, and there's a deep recession, and life after college is harder than ever. So it sounds like, I could relate to that. Even though I haven't finished college, I know some people who have, and that's all I want to know about this. I didn't really read any more of The Dust Jacket after that, so. But some people really liked it, like Dan Cryer from Newsday, he liked it. So, there's that. And the last book I picked up is a book that I already own. It was a present from my parents, but I lent it to a friend. And I'm just going to hold it up so you can see it. And he hasn't returned it. And I'm kind of sad. And I want it back, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? You're like my best friend, so like if you don't give it back to me, I'm not too upset. And that's The Casual Vacancy by J.K. Rowling. I made it halfway through the first time. I know some people had some major issues with this book. I don't know what their problem was, because I thought this book was amazing, and so I'm really excited to finish it. I'm going to start from the beginning again, obviously, because it's been so long. But, it's really good. Like, I don't understand people's, like, problem with it. I really don't. I don't understand it. But beyond just reading it for my own enjoyment, you gotta reach over, I want to do a discussion video on her adult novels, like all of them. So, The Casual Vacancy, The Cuckoo's Calling, and The Silkworm. All of which I think, like, The Cuckoo's Calling also had a really, like, I really hate this cover. I hate this cover. Especially, like, once reading it, because I'm supposing, like, this is supposed to be the victim, but the victim was black. Like, she was a black woman. Like, she was an adopted black woman, and this person looks like Mediterranean or something. Like, this hair is not a black person's hair. Like, I'm gonna tell you that, right? No black person has that. I will tell you. They don't look like that, no. They can have long hair, yes, but it won't look like that. No, it won't. It won't be their hair anyway. So, I don't like this cover for that reason, and I much prefer the other cover. And then, you know, for the Silkworm, I think they finally got it right. But the Silkworm, people like this cover, but this is like the same cover that the Cuckoo's Calling had, like that blue one with like the cityscape. It's this one. It's like pretty much like the same concept for this one, but people hated it on the Cuckoo's Calling. I don't get it. So, I'm going to do a J.K. Rowling adult novel discussion as soon as I finish reading her adult novels. So, that's everything that I picked up from the library, other than some of the books that I, have over there that I haven't read yet. So, let me know in the comment sections down below if you picked up anything new this week, this month, this year, because some people don't buy books every month, like, if you recently bought anything new, if you're gonna go to the library, I don't know. Anything. Comment if you read any of these books. I showed you 19. Like, one of these you've had to have read. I picked some pretty popular books. It's not like I chose... I don't really have an unpopular book around me to show you. Oh, it's not like I chose... Where is it, actually? I don't have it near me. Oh, it's in my book stack, so I can't just pull it out. But, so let me know if you've read any of them, what you thought about them, and I'll see you next time in another video. Hopefully you'll have a nice day. Until next time, guys, bye.